on a very impromptu Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, Sprinkle Salt edition, live edition of the pod. As Smitty from the group home in Burger Beach was saying, you know what, Mike? I like your podcast. I like listening to it when I'm on my way to work. I like watching it when I have nothing else to do. But it makes it hard for me to really support you, Mike. To really support my brother in orange and blue. And I'm not talking about the Knickerbockers, Mike. When all you do, you talk about the Jets. You talk about the Knicks. And then, if you're not talking about the Knicks, and you're not talking about the Jets, do you talk about the New York Metropolitans? No, you do not. No, you do not. It's nothing but wrestling. Like Marsha. Wrestling. So guess what? That's what I'm going to be talking about tonight. Wrestling. You want to know why? You want to know why? I will tell you why I will be talking about wrestling. Because I'm going on about 20 hours, being up 20 hours straight. I've driven about 300 miles today, front and back. I had about an 8-hour orientation course with the family. And then I get home, and I'm like, you know what? Raw comes on early. I just got home. You know what? Let me turn on Monday Night Raw and watch it from the beginning. I'm about an hour behind. It's coming off Night of Champions. Have I been really enthused with Monday Night Raw? No, I have not. But I said, you know what? Why not? It's nothing else on. It's been a long weekend of wrestling. You've had TNA, Slammiversary. You had AEW, Forbidden Door. You had Ashe, The World Is Yours. You had all these Oh yeah, and I forgot. You had WWE Night of Champions. You had all these wrestling shows on. And guess what? I only watched one. Oh yeah, I actually forgot one. NXT Great American Bash. Has anybody been really watching Great American Bash? Not really, but I didn't either. But you had about 5 shows. So I said, you know what? Let me get into my wrestling bag. Let me watch Monday Night Raw. See the outcome. See the backlash from Night of Champions. See exactly where they're gonna go and where they're gonna start this lead up, start this build to SummerSlam. 2-night SummerSlam, emanating from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let's see how they're gonna do it. Oba Femi won the King of the Ring, so everybody know he was gonna start Raw off, and we're trying to figure out, all right, who is he going to challenge? Is he gonna challenge the OTC? Is he going to challenge the Tribal Chief? Is he going to challenge Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship? Or is he going to challenge new WWE Undisputed Champion, Sami Zayn? So he comes out and he said, the rule is here. The rule is here. Well, he didn't say that. Rule is here. He didn't say that, but he comes out and he talks about the crowd. And he's like, yeah, you know, those cheers are fit for a ruler. But are those cheers really fit for a king? And I'm like, hold on. You have what they have done since WrestleMania in particular. You have a megastar, the next guy. And you're already starting to try to paint shades of gray or Oba Femi? Now it might have been written to say in jest, well, that's fit for a ruler, but is it fit for a king? But right now we have so many characters, we have so many wrestlers with this shade of gray crap that Oba Femi should just be the ruler. He should be the conqueror. He's the man that's is trying to take over Brock Lesnar, trying to put Brock Lesnar to bed. So he should be the man. So of course he comes out, and Brock Lesnar, of course, he sees a black person about to get a championship. Quick, fast. Got the detour. So Brock Lesnar comes out and he says, yeah, I don't watch the product. You know, my boy, my advocate Paul watched the product, and he said he been telling me what you've been saying. You've been calling me a bitch and all that. So therefore, I gotta come out. I gotta come here. And you know, you remind me of me at that stage in my career. But you're a better promo than I am. That's why I got this guy right here. And I'm like, okay. But long story short, so he hits Oba Femi in the family jewels, and then Oba Femi calls him a bitch and says, you know what, we need to get this on. Say it to my face. Challenge me to my face. And they pretty much make the match for SummerSlam in a Hell in a Cell. Ooh, Hell in a Cell. SummerSlam. Oh my God. The third match in the trilogy between Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi. Hell in a Cell. Oh, we're going to print money. So, Oba Femi won the King of the Ring for what? And then he literally says, listen, I can get the title whenever I want. I can take the title whenever I want. Right now, you know what I want right now. You know what I want right now. I want Brock Lesnar. I need Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. That's what I need. And I'm like, okay, so it's that easy. So Brock just came in, got you off your square, and you say, you know what? F the title. I'm the king. This crown is all I need. And I need to get my win back against you. I need to make it 2 Oba, 1 Brock. Game done. That's what I need. I'm like, oh my God. This doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't make any sense. Listen, everybody knew that, or everybody had a big feeling, a good feeling that Brock versus Oba Femi 3 was going to be at SummerSlam. And some people probably like, why are you jumping off the ledge already? You got a little bit over a month for them to put the pieces together. The thing is, I don't have faith in them putting the pieces together. There's 1,000,001 ways that they could have gotten to Oba versus Brock 3. Oba winning the King of the Ring, discarding his title shot for the time being, and Brock just coming out and saying, you know what? I want to fight you. That is the most simplistic thing. The most simplistic thing that you could even come up with. And everybody's supposed to say, oh my God, as long as the match, well, it's going to go like 7 minutes, 8 minutes. They're going to spam finishes. And yeah, it's going to be a good adrenaline rush. But what is there to do? What is there to do? So that's how my Raw started off. Like, I wanted to see exactly were they really going to pull the trigger on Roman versus Oba. I personally thought they were going to have Oba challenge Sami, squash him. But we'll get to that in a very few minutes. Matter of fact, we'll get to that right now. So, later on during the show, we have Jimmy, Big Jim, Big Slim Jim, more like beef jerky, versus L.A. Knight, yeah! Once again. And this time, L.A. Knight takes the loss, but But he gets his at the end. Jey Uso was supposed to be there watching Big Jim's back. And of course, Big Jim got thumbed by his little brother Solo. And then they go in the back and Jacob punks Jey just like he normally does. And Jacob's like, look, I'm going to have to go SmackDown and handle this. Jay's like, you know what? I'm going to SmackDown too, Oos. I'm going back there too, Oos. Matter of fact, I need to bring some gold back to the Bloodline, Oos. What do you mean, gold back to the Bloodline? As far as I know, Roman still got his gold. Jacob got his gold teeth. You got a gold chain. Big Jim got a big golden. So, what gold are you talking about? Well, Sami don't got a challenger, so I'm going to go with SmackDown, Oos. Okay. Now, once again, Jey versus Sami for the championship, especially where Jey is positioned in the Bloodline, makes ultimate sense. It goes back to the original Bloodline, the OG Bloodline. But even more so, it goes back to last year, the night after WrestleMania, when Jey Uso was the World Heavyweight Champion. Sami comes to the ring, and everybody thought Sami was going to turn on Jey. And he didn't. He did not let the frustration get to him. So, the match itself makes sense. Their current positions and how we might get to that match makes no sense. Jey is a high-head quasi-heel tweener. He pretty much told the fans that he don't care whether you cheer him or you boo him. Tell you the truth, he feels away because everybody was putting the thumbs down on his videos. Everybody was talking about he was eating too much, the whole nine. So he's feeling away. He told Jackie O that this weekend. Right? So he's a quasi-heel. Sami Zayn, even though he won in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, being of Syrian descent, technically was a quasi-heel, even though he won the championship to a hero's cheer, hero's welcome. Sami's current character and Jey's current character does not a match make. But I guess as long as we get there, right? Do you think this is going to be a SummerSlam match? Or do you think this is going to be a Saturday Night Main Event? Well, it could be a Saturday Night Main Event. It's not going to be a regular SmackDown match. But, even if they have this match at all, how about this? So Jey Uso made it to the finals of the King of the Ring. The winner of the King of the Ring was entitled a main event championship match at SummerSlam. Oba won, and Oba said, you know what, F the title. I don't care about the title. Jey lost, but Jey possibly can be going for the title. Can get a championship match before Oba. And either at Saturday Night Main Event or at SummerSlam. Make it make sense, folks. Make it make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't. The lead up does not make sense. The match makes sense. The lead up, their current position makes no sense whatsoever. But we continue. We continue with the narrative that I would take a page out of Randy Orton's book circa 2009 when he did sabotage Kofi Kingston's career by saying one word 3 times. One word 3 times. Stupid, stupid, stupid. That's what this Raw has been. So we got the Oba Brock match, right? Okay. We got the Jey Sami potential match. Okay. Guess what else? We have a potential Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley match. Lyra finally turned heel and snapped last week when her and Bayley lost the championship. Lost the tag team championship match. Now, once again, this is another match. The match makes sense. This match has been a year in the making. Literally a year in the making. Since last year at SummerSlam. When Bayley interfered in Lyra's match against Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Championship, cost her the championship, not only cost her the championship, but cost her a potential to get the championship back as long as Becky Lynch was champion. This was a year in the making. Everybody thought Bayley was going to turn heel. Wasn't going to happen. CM Punk, I'll get to that in a very few minutes. So, now you have Lyra as the heel. You have Bayley as the face, which I get. So, Lyra's just going off the deep end. Lyra has to look like a crackhead pigeon. Because she's had enough to hear. It would have made sense that all this, yes, everything was building up for Lyra to finally snap. But let her snap based on history that's already enfolded in the fabric of the storyline. Listen, I tried to forgive you. Us coming up short time and time again made me realize I shouldn't have been effing with you since last year, since you cost me gold. That's where you start. Not because, oh my God, you know, she's just been such a weight on my back. I've been carrying the team. So what? And she even has the Becky cadence. So that's 3 for 3. Match makes sense. Lead up does not make sense. Now, before I get to the next one, that match makes sense, lead up makes no sense. CM Punk, he hasn't been back yet. Rumor has it that he's going to come back next week on Raw because it's emanating from Chicago, and then he's going to go to SmackDown. Now, if he goes to SmackDown, who is he going to face? Is he going to be inserted right into the title picture? Will it be a four-way between Jey, Sami, Cody, Punk? Oh, you can't forget Gunther. Oh yeah, that's right. Gunther's quasi-suspended. I really don't know where Punk is going to slide. I think that's a question that's probably best served for next week. Now, number 4. Liv Morgan will defend the championship, the Women's World Championship, against Io Sky at SummerSlam. Why? I don't know. Because Io Sky won the Queen of the Ring, and beat Liv Morgan, which makes me wonder this: why was Liv Morgan in the Queen of the Ring to begin with? With all these women that's on the roster that currently have no vibration, no motion whatsoever, you mean to tell me it's not even like Liv won? You mean to tell me they had to have one of the champions in the match? For what? For them to lose? For them just to run it back? No, I don't watch boxing, to be honest. My heyday to boxing was, Hagler, Hearns, Leonard, John the Beast Mugabe, Vinny Pazienza. I'm talking about like 80s and 90s. Sweet Pea, Lou Whitaker, and so forth like that. So that's pretty much my wheelhouse when it comes to boxing. Appreciate the question. But so you have Roxanne Perez. Was she even in the Queen of the Ring tournament? Yes. Listen. I remember not to get off track, but I remember when Channel 4 used to have boxing on Saturday afternoons. I think it was Sports World. We had Marv Albert and the Fight Doctor, which called Freddie Pacheco, doing the analyzing. That's how far back I go when it comes to that. I was about 9, 10, whatever. But yeah, that's when yeah, exactly. I don't know why they call him the Beast Mugabe. He was a Sports World. He was definitely on Sports World all the time. Especially Vinny Pazienza too, the Tasmanian Devil. When De La Hoya and them all coming out. I mean, shoot, we had. Remember when Tyson they used to have the Friday night fights on channel 4. When Tyson, I think it was Tyson and Burbick, or was it Tyson and Leon Spinks? But yeah, which guy? Listen. I remember Wild World of Sports. They used to have boxing on there, and of course, the HBO matches. Like, listen, that's when cable. When you had cable, all you had was listen. This is how bootleg my cable was, right? So we pretty much used to have the cable wire from the roof, snaking into the window. Listen, and you would take it off, get the copper wire, and this is back when you had the rabbit ear TVs, and you would put it to the back where the UHF thing was, and that's how you got HBO. So literally, you take the hook off the rabbit ears, no HBO. You put the hook on the rabbit ears, HBO. WHT, shoot, a lot of times you didn't really need WHT, you just need the sound. For real. What happened? Oh, come. I got it. All right, I got you. No problem. So yeah, like that's my wheelhouse. I mean, my mom and my aunt would have people over on fight nights, and I'll stay up, and they would let me watch the fights, and then as soon as the fights would go over, that's why I really didn't like. I mean, I like Tyson, but Tyson, it was crazy because Tyson used to beat niggas too quick. Straight up. He used to beat niggas too quick. So you couldn't really they couldn't see with the main event. And the one Tyson fight that I did not watch live was when he got knocked out by Buster Douglas. Because at that point in time, I think they were trying to they wanted like $60 for the pay-per-view, and it was coming from Japan. I think it was coming from the Tokyo Dome. So we wasn't staying up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, but I heard it on 1010 Wins. Tyson lost. Oh, Sugar Ray and Roberto. No mas. Shoot, remember, Sugar Ray was so nice that he was boxing with 1.5 eyes. And I know you probably like 1.5 eyes. Yeah, one of his eyes, like the retina, he had a detached retina. That's why his eyes would go like this. So literally, he was sweet science with 1.5 eyes. Yo, Sugar Ray was, man. Listen, yeah. So back to Raw for a minute. But feel free. You ask questions, I answer them. I'm rocking over here. Let's get to the main event, right? The main event. Roman Reigns comes out with Jacob Fatu, the emasculated Jacob Fatu, and comes out and says, "New Jersey, acknowledge me." right? And ooh, who do you think? This is Broly. I am Broly. Quadruple zero. Who do you think was better, Sugar Ray Leonard or Pernell Whitaker? Ooh, I guess based on longevity, Sugar Ray. But people would look back on Pernell Whitaker's career probably a lot different because he lost to Chavez. He got which guy? He got snaked by Chavez. Uh Rocket Eagles. Okay, on Wolves. Lino Mello? Can which go ahead? Run it back because I didn't understand it. So that was my bad. Lino Mello. So just run it back. And I got you. But yeah, if Whitaker would have won that match that he was supposed to win against Julio Cesar Chavez, then I think it would be in the discussion. But look at how many notches Sugar Ray got on his belt. Sweet Pea, as nice as he was, and some people could think that he was actually nicer with his hands than Sugar Ray, but you know, when it comes down to history, notches are notches, wins are wins. You know, so yeah. But Rocket Eagles, listen, no love lost, but just run it back, and I got you. But yeah, so Roman comes out, talks his ish, and then we got Seth Rollins come out, right? And Seth Rollins comes out, you know, John Wicked out, all black everything, and everybody should have known once he beat Braun Breaker to pretty much blow off the feud. Like, if he's gonna beat Braun Breaker, the only place left for him to go is for the championship, right? So you ask me once again, Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns is the match that you want to see, but how they got there is haphazard. Oh yeah. Floyd is a straight copycat of Sweet Pea, but Sweet Pea, I would say Sweet Pea was a little bit, to me, from what I remember, Sweet Pea was a little bit more offensive. Like Floyd. Listen, you can't knock Floyd's hustle because he made a lot of money being the best defensive boxer, dare say, in history, right? He was never going to try to knock you out, but you was not ever going to get a clean hit off him. Sweet Pea was not only nice, but he could tag you, and he can bloody you up. So I guess the best way to say it, Floyd took Sweet Pea to the next level. That's probably the best thing to say. So my problem, and this goes to what my brother Ty asked, and he said he's hyped about this match, right? And I ask you, Ty, why are you hyped about this match? Because it's been 14 years in the making? Has it really been 14 years in the making? Or has it been like 6 years in the making? 4 years in the making? 2022 Royal Rumble, right? That was the penultimate match. Now, because this one's coming up. You had so many levels that you could have done for the last year. You had the triple threat. Did he even, yeah, he mentioned in passing, I took your wise man. But that should be a crux in the whole conflict. If I'm Roman Reigns, you ruined everything. You cost me the match. You took my wise man. Yeah, Punk caused my wise man to turn on me, but you literally took my wise man and you took my blueprint. Then tried to flip it and bounce it on some other ish, and then it blew up in your face. And now you got the whole crowd saying, oh. Why? 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 Because he's been running that same shtick for 5 years? I'm a visionary. I'm a revolutionary. I'm Seth freaking Rollins. Really? This is what we doing? This is what we doing? Why am I our average fan? Not a fan, not a person. Yeah, he's crazy, but he's not as crazy as he wants people to think. Josiah, what up? What's good? So my thing is this. I've been a wrestling fan. I've been a wrestling historian at this point in time for over 40 years, right? I've watched from right after WrestleMania 1. Uno, 1. 1, 1, 1. Right? If it's a new coming fan that's just started the last couple months, they want to know, don't you think you owe it to these people to give them some better backstory than, oh yeah, you've never beat me. Even though without the laugh. I would say Seth Rollins, at least the promo, he was serious as a heart attack. I give him that. But also, look at another dynamic. When Seth Rollins was world champion, when Roman Reigns was in the middle of his historic almost 4-year reign, he said, listen, you know, they had to make that championship. That championship is the second best. Like, when you got that championship, you're second best because you can't be me. You can't be the tribal chief. You can't be the universal champion. You can't be the undisputed champion. He constantly talked down about that championship. So me seeing Roman Reigns walk around with the world championship, to me, just seems like a slap to the face of Roman Reigns. Like, if I'm Roman Reigns, like, I don't give a rat's you know what about this championship. You want this championship? So he had to play on the ego aspect of, you've never beat me. You may be a Hall of Famer. You'll be a first-time Hall of Famer. You're all-time great. Blah 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 blah. We came into the business together. We ruled the WWE together. Blah blah blah. At the Shield, my brother. But the one thing you have not accomplished is to beat me, and that's why I deserve a match. That's why we need to headline SummerSlam. And Roman's like, you know what, little brother? You're right. I need to put to rest any doubt that you must acknowledge me. And you're going to do this in a month. Which decade? 90s, 2000 or 2010 for WWE? 90s. Yeah. You know what? I'll say 90s because they had better highs, but they also had lower lows. Because, all right, you got 90. I'm gonna go straight down the list because, like, why not, right? You got 1990. You got Hulk versus Ultimate Warrior, Ultimate Challenge. You had 91 with Sergeant Slaughter, Ultimate Warrior left, Macho Man retired, the whole nine. Fine. 92. Yeah, Sid Justice, Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid, Hulk leaves. Bret the Hitman Hart starts coming up. Shawn Michaels start coming up. 93 has Yokozuna. 94 you had Bret Hart again, and that's when it started kind of dipping. 95 was garbage, but you still had Diesel. You had HBK. 96 start coming up a little bit. You had Stone Cold about to jump off. 97, 98, 99, Attitude Era, right? 2000 to 2002 was pretty much all right. 2003, it leveled off and went down. Then you had the beginning of John Cena, Batista. You had the reign of Triple H. Yeah, Goldberg came in for a hot minute. You had all these people, right? So it went down a little bit, but it never dropped off the cliff like it did in 93, 94, 95. So I say all that, and I'm still picking the 90s because the 90s had better peaks. You know, like when it was hot, WWE was hot. Like WWE brought people back into wrestling. Attitude Era, Stone Cold, HBKs, Degeneration X, the whole nine. 2000, 2010. All right, you know, you watched it because guess what? If you wanted wrestling, that was the only thing that was down. That was the only thing that was around was WWE. I mean, you had TNA. You know, you had which got Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Eric Young, Awesome Kong, Gail Kim. You know, you had all of them. You know, but nobody really was checking for TNA. So it's like, you know, when they talked about wrestling, talked about WWE. Now, even now, people talk about wrestling, talk about WWE, but there is a kind of alternative. Whether you want to, whether I want to admit it or not, you got alternative in AEW. You know, so if you want to wrestle, you watch AEW. If you want the BS that I'm pissed off about, you watch WWE. Straight like that. You know, but yeah, my answer would be 90s. Of course, because like, you know, for better or worse, I'm a 90s head. So it's always gonna be 90s for me. Like golden era of hip hop was 90s. You know, 90. I want to say 91 to 90. 91 to 97 was if I wanted to stretch it out, was the golden era. 98, that's when it started going pop. You know, but yeah, golden era was 90s. You know, 2000, yeah, you know, you had 2000, 2002, 14 years in the making. Okay, my brother, 14 years in the making. 2012, right? I get it. And I ask you sincerely, why in the holy blue, you know what, are you so jazzed about this match? I will wait. The masses will wait to get your response. Because you best believe whatever you say now can and will be held against you on the next edition that I jump on Gimmick Infringement. Yeah, I said it. Gimmick Infringement. Check out Ty in the chat. Check out his partner, Brad Winchester. 19 Media Group YouTube channel. All streaming platforms where podcasts are available. It's not just a wrestling podcast. It is a lifestyle podcast. It's not just Gimmick Infringement. It's life. Yeah, I say that. Say less. But I'm waiting. Anyway. OSC, yeah, no, don't try to buddy me up. Don't try to buddy me up. I want your reasoning on why you are so jazzed about this match. Am I wrong in saying that the match itself, the matchup itself is okay, but the reasoning behind the matchup makes, I won't say makes no sense, but it's like they just said, insta feud. Insta match. Guess what? Well, we got Oba over here, so now we're going to try to spread this out. So we're going to have Oba and Brock, then we're going to have Roman defending his title, and then we're going to have whatever's going on in SmackDown, and I think that's going to be like a hodgepodge, a four-way or something. And now we got 3 main events. I swear, the way to me, this is the biggest match WWE has in their bag right now outside of Oba versus the OTC. And I'm here for it. Okay, so with you saying that this is the biggest match they have in their bag, and they wanted to put it on display for SummerSlam, that means they knew coming out of WrestleMania that this was the plan, right? So, I'm not even mad that they're not giving Oba the championship match. No, I'm not mad that Oba's not going to get the title at SummerSlam. But I'm saying, if you know this is the second biggest biggest match that y'all got. It's almost like holding on to the big to the little joker. You already got the big joker. But if you get the little joker, I'm talking about spades right now. If you get the little joker, depending on how you play spades, but if you get the little joker, that's 2 guaranteed books. But are you going to just throw the little joker out first? Or are you going to play the game and know you got that little joker in the stash? You might even play your big joker out first. And then somebody like, oh yeah, I'm going to let this book going to walk. And it doesn't. Because guess what? Ha ha ha! Got the little joker. The whole OTC character is derived from Seth chair shot all those years ago on the faithful Monday night. Yes, I get it. I get it. That's my point. Do you not think that this match deserved more of a build? Being the fact you got 14 years of history. Why for him to come out now? Like, yeah, it's been teased. But why now? Like, for all this, it's almost like I said, it's almost like they want to have their cake and eat it too. And this is also a reason why I'm taking them to task right now. Because Paul Triple H Levesque came out and his mealy mouth had the audacity to tell people that, yo, y'all taking WWE way too seriously. Are you out your cotton picking mind? Listen, I can either take it people can either take it too seriously or don't care about it at all. One or the other. If people are taking it too seriously, at least they're passionate about it. I could be ambivalent about it. Like, you know, I really don't care. Because that's kind of how I feel. Tell you the truth, to be honest, this piss poor Raw was just an excuse for me to go live tonight because I'm like, why not? I'll feed the masses what they need. More me. In this championship New York Knick hat. This championship New York Knick t-shirt. And this championship face that's on this championship screen right here. It's literally just an excuse for me to come on and share with the masses my views on whatever I feel like talking about. But if Paul Levesque would have it, he would have you say, you know what? I don't care. Just like I'm looking at my daughter's phone right now, ring, and knowing that I really want to open this form up, but I'm not gonna violate. I'm not gonna violate my daughter's privacy. But I feel like, yo, you know what time it is, nigga? Do you know what time it is? Call. Yeah, I know she got a cell phone, but guess who pays the cell phone? Me. Yeah, that's right. Big me. I'm HIM. I'm him. Mother effer. Anyway. The bastard resigned. What bastard? You talking about, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, the bastard, the bastard Shamit. Hi, yeah. Now, since I'm about to wrap this up soon, so this is potpourri of BS, right? Do you believe? All right, if before the off season came, all right, they won the championship right after the off season. I mean, right after the championship, right? You just took the words right out of my mouth. Would you have thought that Shamit and GTA would be re-signed before Mitch Robb? I mean, I get it because Mitch Robb is his asking price is going to be way higher than Shamit and Alvarado. Shamit and Alvarado combined are probably going to make what Mitch Robb is going to start at. You know, he's not taking a discount, nor should he take a discount. But at the same time, the team that the team that pays Mitch Rob, listen, there's no knock against Mitch Robinson. Mitch Rob, go get your money. Go get your bread. You got your chip, go get your bread. You owe us nothing. You owe us nothing. No, you owe us no reason to take a hometown discount. Like, you made the championship winning offensive rebound. You owe the city nothing. Go get your bag. But the team that's going to give Mitch Rob the bag, if it's not us, y'all do know that he's not going to have the same impact for y'all that he has for us. An offensive rebound is not the same. Offensive rebound for us raises the championship banner. Offensive rebound for y'all just gives y'all another opportunity to break again from 3 before he gets hurt. No, I'm not going to agree that you was right about Mid Zohan. No, brought a championship to the city. My behind Brunson brought a championship to the city. Josh Hart brought a championship to the city. Man, shoot, Landry Shamet brought a championship to the city. Carl Anthony Towns brought a championship to the city. Price control for who? For you? Out in Arizona? No price control for me. Yeah, 2-year leases. Like a certain compadre of ours just signed a 2-year lease. Okay. Too late for him? How about y'all stop making the rent too damn high? How about that? There is a new day. Yes, it is coming to NYC with the DSA rolling deep in elections, and I guess we'll see if it pays off in November. Which I mean, listen. At the end of the day, change. Sometimes change is good. Sometimes change for change's sake isn't. But I can see there's a movement growing. And whether you agree or not, what's going on right now ain't the way. It ain't the way at all. It really ain't. You know. So, listen, it is what it is. But yeah. Now, Ja to Portland. Yo, what's good up? What's good, LA? What's good? Oh, sugar honey iced tea. Salute. What you got up your sleeve? La Corporation. The Crown Jewel. The IWA World Heavyweight Champion is in the chat. Yeah, just being double champ. You know, just being champ. Nothing new, right? Nothing new. Listen, I know what it feels like to be champion. Maybe not champion with the gold on my waist, but at least the gold on the side of my hat and the gold that's in my heart. And, you know, maybe one of these years, the gold that'll be in my teeth. Thank you. I appreciate you, bro. Listen, we definitely got to chop it up. Definitely got to chop it up. I got some questions to ask, but I'm not gonna ask them here. But yeah, we got to chop it up because I was looking forward to some outside action in Elizabeth, but I guess I'm gonna have to wait until September for IWA back in action in Nutley, New Jersey, at the Nut House. And the Nut House is not just the name of the home of the IWA. Some would say the Nut House has a different connotation when it comes to the humble abode of Mike Steph. Yes, the Nut House has produced 1, 2, 3, 4 children. Oh, you back in August. El Nacho. Okay. Like I said, that's how I said we got to chop it up. Listen, feel free to Drop whatever you need in the comments. You know, drop a link. Drop some promo. Whatever. Listen. Listen. Spread love. What you know about that Young Buck tie? Spread love. That's the 45 King. That was one of the jams in late 80s, early 90s. It had the doom, 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 doom. Spread love. Da da da. Doom. Yeah, when I say, man, listen. Anyway, since I got time, because like why not? I'm also just make this an even hour, so that means I got about 9 minutes left, right? You know what? I'm going to brainstorm right now some ideas of what to do with this dead time in the summer for the flagship, the mothership, if you will, of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. Okay, everybody knows summertime is usually my interview time. I got one up the sleeve. Just gotta get it in motion. But I'm thinking either a combination of Mr. McDowell and Mr. Powell on the Salty Thoughts to talk music. Yes, music. Old versus new. I wonder how well that Drake album has aged. I think it's aged like spoiled milk. I think it's aged like third base. Don't drink your milk. Why? Because it's sperm. I think it's aged like that. Or we can have a tie for pardon the pun. We can have a tie for four-time guest on the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph. La Corporation's own Larry Anderson and Gimmick Infringement Finest, Tyler McDowell Blanken, a.k.a. 5. It's 5? Five-time? Oh, shoot. Oh, the race to 5. That's right. Y'all tied at 4. Wow. Yo, down. Larry snuck one in me. Pause. That's crazy. Snuck one in me. Oh, pause. But nah, I'm thinking, and of course, the one team up that we have yet to have, and we just got to drag his butt out to the deep end, to deep water, so to speak. We got to have a 60-minute Broadway, brother. And that would be L.A. and the Mojo King on the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. Because I don't know. I mean, I think that I want to see the dynamic between the two, live and in living color. I swear, that would be the one time, that would be the one combination that, you know what, I think I would just put the mic up there, and I'll lay back and I'll let y'all just handle your business. Catch up on old times. Matter of fact, I don't know if all three of y'all know each other equally, but you know what I would want? Mojo, LA, and Steve done deals. And tell stories about from the block. Tell stories from the hood. Tell stories from around the way. Tell stories of 55th Street football that I was always invited to, but I never came to because I just didn't want to get up that early, even though it's afternoon. But still. Shoot, me and LA probably would have met each other about 10 years ago if I would have actually got up and played some football. But listen, things happen the way they are supposed to happen. Oh boy. But yeah. Matter of fact, like I said, I got a couple minutes, so I'm gonna just try to run this into one to it's an hour. LA, I got a question to ask you. Just off the top of your head, I don't know if you watched Raw or not today or whatever, but pretty much you got Seth Rollins versus Roman for SummerSlam, right? So, do you think? All right, the match itself it sells itself, but do you think that a match of that magnitude deserved more backstory than what they've given it so far, and more of a runway? Like, all right, this is where we're heading to. Like, all right, SummerSlam's the destination. We got these two ships in the night, and they're always going. They're gonna collide, but we know the destination is SummerSlam. How they going? I just feel like it was. The matchup is good. The road to get there, BS. So, I ask you that, Mr. Champ. Bendito. Ay, bendito. Oh. But yeah. Well, for those who are watching on replay, because shoot, listen, I'll probably get more plays on replay. Those who are watching, please check out the long exclusive. Put that on pause for a minute. Larry Anderson, Champ, responds to my question of whether or not they should have blew their lid on this Roman Seth thing. No, because they did it before. And I think if Roman's finally able to beat him, but let's not forget CM Punk might come back at SummerSlam and mess things up. From what I read and what makes sense, and a combination of the two, Punk is gonna come back, but I think he's pretty much slated to go to SmackDown because there's nothing really left for him to do it for Raw. They can always run him and Roman back. I thought that would have been like the no-brainer to do. Like, all right, listen, you had that WrestleMania match. Punk has been gone. Run it back for SummerSlam, and then have Punk go this opposite way. But maybe politically they just like, we got through that match in one time only. You don't want to do Punk and Seth because that's been done to death. So that's why I think Punk is really gonna go on SmackDown. Cody, you got Sami. I don't think they're gonna run Gunther back. And shoot, there's so many people on SmackDown that's just there. You got Trick, who is the man, but I just think they're slowly dropping the ball with him every week. Carmelo Hayes, they just don't see it in him. Literally, they don't see it in him. Okay. If Punk comes back, he got to be heel Punk, maybe with Heyman. Let's say, I haven't been wrong. No, you haven't. And yeah, I believe, yeah, Punk, if Punk comes back, he has to be heel. He might not come back as a heel, but his run needs to be a heel. Because we've had Happy Punk for going on 4 years. And I think Happy Punk is stale. So you gotta have Punk as a heel. Especially if you're not gonna turn Cody, you gotta turn Punk. Yes, exactly. And even if it wasn't about the t-shirts, Punk itself, the entity of Punk will always sell shirts. Like I was a Punk merchandise fiend until I just like a lot of things I just don't jive with Punk with right now. So I'm just like, you know what? Between that and I'm just not giving WWE my money like that anymore. So that's why I've slowed down on the Punk merch. But people who are gonna rock with Punk. Punk is a legacy act. So he's more like back in the day with Flair. Flair can never be a heel. Flair wanted to be a heel, but Flair can never be a heel. Right? Kurt Angle can never be a heel. Kurt Angle, like playing heel, can never be a heel. Randy Orton. Shoot, nobody knows about what's going on with Randy Orton, but Randy Orton turned heel, and was he really a heel? Or was he just Randy Orton? You know, that's where Punk lies in right now. Same thing is going on with Roman. Roman is kind of leaning heelish, or matter of fact, can you really say he's heelish? More like Roman is just Roman, but you can't dislike Roman because you know what you get. You know what you get with Roman. So, you know, but yeah, it's an hour. I'm getting out of here because it's going on 21 hours straight that I've been up. And I gotta eat. I haven't had nothing to eat since about 1 o'clock this afternoon. So see what I do. See how I sacrifice for y'all. I sacrifice hunger. Man, not really. But I said, you know what? Before I eat and get the itis and don't feel like doing this, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to get this up out of here. And then I'm going to load this up. And I'm going to get up out of here. And I'm going to eat. Because I got to go back to the shoot job tomorrow. Because I got vacation coming up in 2 weeks. Anyway, I'm talking too much. I'm getting out of here. So, hasta la vista, baby. Ali 5000. Goodbye.